Good evening, I'm Glenn Means.
And I'm Carla Young. Thank you for joining Nautilus News.
UWF was the host of the Emerald Coast Best Robotics Competition this past week. Nautilus News reporter Tiffany Wilbekin has more on the story.
With the current drop of students' interest in mathematics and science, how are the people of Emerald Coast keeping them interested?
Okay, well, Best Robotics began in Texas about 18 years ago, and it was started by two Texas Instrument engineers. They started seeing a drop in the United States students going into engineering and a lack of interest with math and science with a lot of the teaching institutions. So they began this process of a sports-like competition where you can learn to do oral presentations. You build a booth as if you're going to a convention. You have to put together an engineering notebook, and then you have to build a robot from scratch. We supply all the material, and then you get a bunch of robot parts. That's motors, controllers, and you build a functioning robot to compete on a game field. And there's a game field behind us for this year's game. And this year we expect to have over 12,000 students across the United States competing in the Best Robotics game. It's an awesome event. Well, one thing we're missing, in my opinion, in the world today is that there's so many more people in it, so much more competition. We have got to start capturing students at a younger age and gathering their excitement about what they're good in, and then sharpening those skills before they ever get into high school, because the job market in the future is going to be tough. And one thing we need in engineering are students that want to do it. 80% of our engineers last year in the United States pretty much left the United States. And I definitely believe that knowledge is power. And the power base of the United States is leaving at an alarming rate. So we want to keep the U.S. students in engineering, in math, in science, to help continue to keep America strong.
This competition is about keeping students interested in math and science by building robots. I'm Tiffany Wilbekin, reporting for Nautilus News.
What precautions does the campus police department take during dangerous times? Reporter Glenn Means has more on that story.
The UWF-PD recently initiated a procedure they'd never had to use before and hope to never have to use again.
We really appreciate the help from the whole campus community, how they responded, and we learned a great deal, and if we ever have to do this again, I think it'll work out even better. We had received a call from the Escambia Sheriff's Office. They were attempting to serve a warrant on a murder suspect, Bruce Day, at the Chris plant, which is a Gulf power plant just off campus. The suspect had ran from them at the scene, and they believed he had run into the woods. Because of the proximity to campus, we had first issued a text alert about the situation, notifying the campus that a murder suspect had run away from the sheriff's office and he was in the woods near campus. The shelter in place has two purposes. The first one is safety. Once we believed, or had evidence to believe, that the murder suspect was on our campus, we sheltered people in place, or asked people to shelter themselves in place for their own safety, because police were out and about with dogs and long guns looking for a murder suspect who was on the run. The second part of a shelter in place is it isolates the area where the helicopters can zero in more on people walking or running on campus, and the police can check them out. I think it went really well. It's the first shelter in place we've ever even attempted here on campus, and the cooperation from faculty, staff, and students was just phenomenal. People were not complaining, people were very patient, and in fact, I went to the Commons to check on them there, and they wouldn't let me in without showing my ID. I was so proud of the students who were staffing that door, and I went to the president's office, and the same kind of reception there. I had to show my ID and badge to gain access there, so people were very diligent, and no one panicked, and very few complaints. I think it went very well.
Bruce Day turned himself in to the Sheriff's Department in Escambia County, Alabama, October 9th. I'm Glenn Means for Nautilus News. Saying the right thing at the right time can increase revenue in the entertainment industry. Reporter Han Tran has more on that story.
Can you put your money where your mouth is?
Each of the girls have unique sets, and we point out a lot of the things where the girls might do new tricks that they have on our poles, or they might have a new show or a new scene, and we want to keep all the guys interested in that. I always try to give the girls the enthusiasm that you're fine, you're beautiful, darling. We're here to put on a show, and you put on a great show. And when you get their confidence and their enthusiasm built back up on themselves and they feel good about themselves, of course, they're going to put on a better show and a better performance. Well, I'd like to think as a DJ, I help encourage the guys to get up and, of course, invest in their party. The girls work for tips, and we want to make sure that all the guys understand that, and we want to get them up and get them into the party. It gives me an opportunity to be myself and to joke with each person that's partying out there. We get more of a one-on-one instead of I guess, as opposed to being a jukebox. You know, if a club had a jukebox, they wouldn't have the personality of someone who was able to motivate the audience to participate and to spend money and to have fun.
Ironically, the DJ has more power over the income of the club than the dancers, the managers, the bartenders, and the staff. Through their music selections and their ability to get the crowd participating, they really influence how motivated people are to spend money. We come out, we have fun. Of course, everybody likes to have a good time, and we set the pace and make sure that each entertainer has the music that they want to perform the best possible show that they can for the clients that come in to party with us.
DJs are a true asset to the adult entertainment industry. They're key motivators and confidence builders. I'm Han Tran reporting for Novelist News.